I think you'll agree it's a car with a genuine touch of class. Sleek, stylish, elegant. You'll certainly never lack for power with the new 2.7 V6 engine. This really is a car that combines practicality with performance. But above all, it's a driver's car. You only have to slip into the seat to be aware of that. I think it's the most exciting new car in its price range for years. But of course, the important thing is what you think.
It certainly is impressive. I'm not sure.
Well, perhaps a demonstration would help you make up your mind. You've absolutely nothing to lose.
Except an hour or two, and I haven't even got a minute.
Well, Mrs. Hardiman, why don't I call you on Friday and see how your diary's shaping up for next week?
All right, you do that.
My pleasure. I'll be in touch.
No, nothing there, mate. Trust your old Uncle Simon.
You reckon?
Am I ever wrong? Do the little hairs on the back of my neck ever let me down?
No, it's your brain does that. Little hairs. It's not a very scientific approach to selling, my dear Simon.
Maybe not, my dear Duncan, but it works.
So what do you make of the Fastback?
It's all right, I suppose.
All right? What's the matter with you? Have you no soul?
Well, it's a very pretty car.
Oh, don't get too excited. Don't want you to have a coronary before the party.
All right, I admit the Fastback's a very handsome car, but it's a different kind of animal altogether. I mean, I think I got the 800 saloon taped. It's all about prestige. It's a car that tells the world you've arrived. Not that you're in a hurry to get somewhere else. Am I right or am I right?
You're right, but...
And of course, I'm going to sell it as hard as I can. But I tell you, there's no way at all that is going to appeal to your typical 800 saloon customer.
But don't you see, that's the beauty of it. This car is going to open up a whole new market sector for us. Take that Mrs. Hardiman, for example. Young, dynamic, go-getting. She wouldn't be seen dead in the saloon. But the Fastback, as you said, different kind of animal altogether.
Come on, you two. Looks like our first guests are arriving. Ready to do some serious selling?
A photographer? Well, that must be fascinating.
Oh, yeah. Exotic locations, beautiful models.
Yes, we've got some beautiful models here. But you must have a lot of gear to carry.
Simon Hopkins. Delighted you could join us this evening, sir. Mr.
Ward. Stephen Ward. Nice to meet you. I'm just looking, really.
What business are you in? Now there is your typical 800 saloon customer.
Why is that?
He's prosperous, mature, established. We won't catch someone like that driving in a Fastback.
Mr. Burton, may I introduce Simon Hopkins?
You like the sleeves?
Right, troops, settle down. Let's have a bit of order. Now then, item 1. Last week's launch party. Well, things seemed to go pretty well. The attendance was excellent, and so was the coverage in the Evening Gazette. So, our organising seems to have paid off. But let's talk results. Simon, you're on.
Right. I've had a reasonably good week. I made 12 appointments at the launch itself, and following up, I made another 6. I've done 7 demos so far, and I've taken 3 orders.
Not bad, considering your reservations about the Fastback.
I'm doing another 2 demonstrations this afternoon, and I think I'm in business on both.
Sounds good. Any problems?
Not really. I had a few tactical problems. Like, for example, a bloke named of Mr. Ward at the launch party. Now, to be honest, my first thought was, well, he was only there for the vol-au-vents, you know. Anyway, I did my number, And it turns out he works for Cooper's, you know, the pharmaceutical company. And he is in the market after all for a company car.
And I've just been appointed sales manager, so new wheels are top priority.
What car do you drive now, Mr. Ward?
Cavalier CD. Injection. Can't fault it really, you know, for what it is.
But now you're looking for something with a little more distinction, is that right?
Like a Rover, you mean? Only one snag, I'm not in that price band.
Oh, I wouldn't be too sure, Mr. Ward. What kind of limit are we talking about? That was the first time I really saw the point of the Fastback. Well, there was this chap thinking he couldn't afford a Rover at all, and all of a sudden, I could offer him a number of models all within his price range. Well, there must be thousands of people out there, all wanting to change up from Cavaliers or Sierras.
Said the hairs on the back of his neck.
They were all a quiver, my son, I can tell you. Anyway, he said he wanted a detailed proposal to put in front of his finance director. Well, when I went down there a couple of days later, I went there fully prepared. So, are we in business?
Well, I must say I'm very tempted. She certainly did handle marvelously. But it's not quite as simple as that. I really do have to give serious consideration to the Granada.
The Granada is a good car, sir, but it's not a Rover, is it?
Yes, I know. But you see, this company has certain traditions. And if I choose the Rover, I'm going to have an awful lot of explaining to do to some of my colleagues.
Why is that, sir?
Well, because they all drive Granadas.
Well, I don't think you should have much trouble in justifying your decision there, sir.
Thanks very much.
Luckily, I'd taken Duncan's advice and spent an evening with the product books. Your finance director should be delighted.
So, one order, and real potential for further sales, right?
Oh, you bet. I left the car with him for a couple of days so that his colleagues could try it out as well. And I'll be following it up real hard.
Good. Well, the fact is that the 800 range now has something to offer everyone in the executive sector. But that means it's going to be more important than ever that we qualify customers accurately, which means selling the right car to the right person.
Oh, don't remind me. Come on, spill the beans. You'll feel better. All right. Duncan, remember that chap at the launch party? You know, the one I said was a typical 800 saloon man?
Oh, yes, Mr. Prosperous, mature.
Established, yeah, that's the one. Well, the next day, I took him out for a test drive. Well, turns out he's an accountant, boss of his own firm and all that. Plus, he was a Justice of the Peace, chairman of the Rotary Club. I tell you, he had Rover Sterling written all over him. Or so I thought. It's a car of real distinction, don't you agree? I'm sure you've noticed how comfortable the seats are, sir. The driver's seat's heated too, which is great on a cold morning. The sound system's excellent, sir.
Yes.
Is there anything else in the car I could show you, sir? No? I tried everything I knew, but the demo was a disaster. I just couldn't work out why. Until we got back to the showroom. The thing was, he'd been lusting after the Fastback all along, but he couldn't bring himself to say so. It's a bit hairy, but I'm glad I brought my cycling clips along. But I got the order.
So, we've got the message about not pigeonholing customers. Remember, people choose a car because they aspire to the image it projects, not because it reflects their personality. You with me, Duncan?
Yes, right, boss.
Well, get on with it then.
I think I've done fairly well. I made 14 appointments at the launch and another 5 following up. So far, I've done 8 demos and received 4 orders.
4 orders from 8 demos. Oh, it's terrific. So no problems?
No, none at all.
Well, Bernie, what's your story?
Well, to start with, the weather didn't help. And I've got
Yes, well, thanks, Bernie. Right then, see you all next week. Same time, same place.
4 orders and not a single problem. Do you walk on water as well?
Only when I'm selling hovercrafts. Study the insight book. Never mind, Simon. There's always next week.
I can't wait till next week. 9-2.
My mind hasn't been on the game.
Sell more cars than me next week, it'll be 9-0.
That's what I've been thinking about. And I reckon I should have sold one more.
Oh, yeah?
You remember that Mrs. Hardiman, the manageress, just before the launch? You know, my perfect Fastback customer. Well, I rang her a couple of days later at her office to try to make an appointment.
Could you hold, please? Yeah.
What shall I do, Barbara?
Well, bye. Yes.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Hardiman. Duncan Green. Can I interest you in a demonstration?
No, thanks. I don't need one. I've decided on the Mercedes. Yes, Alan.
I thought you were trying to get rid of me.
No, bye. B-U-Y. Not goodbye, you complete idiot.
What model Mercedes have you decided on?
Which model? 260E. Yes, Alan.
I've had enough. I'm through.
You're not resigning. Don't be ridiculous.
Mrs. Hardiman, perhaps if I call you again in a couple of days' time.
What?
Then perhaps we can
Yes,
talk about
goodbye.
the Fastback in more detail. Well, maybe I picked a bad moment, but I tell you, I got absolutely nowhere fast.
I want you to stay.
So where do you reckon you went wrong?
Well, I've been thinking about what Phil was saying. You know, about not pigeonholing customers. And I reckon my Mrs. Hardiman was your Mr. Accountant in reverse. I mean, what she wanted was a car.
Well, she came to the right place.
Yes, but one that made a clear statement about her. I've arrived. I'm here to stay. I'm established.
What, you mean the saloon?
I mean the saloon. Oh. I'd give anything to have another bite at that cherry.
I tell you what, in future, we should swap customers. Fancy another game?
You know, it really gets to me when I lose a sale and I know it was down to me.
Oh, come on. It happens to all of us, even me. You sold 4 cars last week. That's one more than I did.
Yeah, but it could have been 5. I'll tell you what, it was very nearly 3.
Oh, yeah? You said you had no problems.
Do you want to know?
Yeah, I'm all ears.
It was the photographer at the launch party. Well, you must have noticed him. He was trading in a BMW, and he'd already had a demo in a Saab 9000 Turbo, and he was pretty impressed with it. So I knew exactly what I had to beat. Morning. Thank you. Nice to see you again.
Oh, what are you doing?
I know you're going to like the Vitesse. Of course, it doesn't just look beautiful. It's incredibly quiet, even at high speeds, thanks to its remarkable aerodynamics. Any idea of the drag coefficient? No. Well, I'll tell you. It's 0.30, which is considerably better than the Saab. Now, you're probably wondering how that sort of figure is achieved.
What I am wondering, Duncan,
Yes?
am I going to be an old age pensioner by the time you've finished all this?
Well, let's hope not. But before we take her out, there's just one more very important advantage I'd like to show you. And that's the... I soon began to get the impression that I was pressing all the wrong buttons.
So where were you going wrong, do you reckon?
Well, I think I was making 2 fairly basic errors. Luckily, I realized what he really cared about was image. She's a real head-turner, isn't she? Absolutely unique. Quite unlike anything else on the road. Yet distinctly Rover. Well, shall we give her a try?
Why not?
Well, as soon as I got him into the car, I knew it was in the bag. Then all I had to do was give it plenty on the Rover, prestige and distinction, ultimate car driver's car, you know the kind of thing. But it was much too close for comfort, I can tell you.
You know, you'd find your job an awful lot easier if you could stop yourself from falling in love with the cars that you sell.
At least I don't get the wrong messages from the hairs on the back of my neck.
All right, all right. I admit I was wrong about the Fastback.
Wrong? Sorry, Simon, did I hear you say wrong?
Well, the way I see it, the new Fastback gives us all the aces. Now we've got something for everybody, right across the executive sector. We can compete and win against Vauxhall, Ford, BMW, Mercedes, Saab, all of them, just so long as we sell the right car to the right customer.
You've been studying the product insight book again, haven't you?
Hello, boys. Hi. Oh, I've left a couple of messages for you two. By the way, who won?
Don't ask.
More leads from people who couldn't come to the launch party, and, oh yes, Duncan, there's a Mrs. Hardiman to see you.
I don't believe it. Another bite of the cherry.
Change your mind about the Mercedes?
The man never turned up. This certainly is a very distinguished car.
Yes, yes it is.
Something wrong?
No. No, quite the reverse.